I represent Lahore High Court Bar Association.
How long will you take?
3 of them, the same.
How long will you take?
I'll take about between half an hour to 3/4 of an hour. Lahore High Court Bar Association, Balochistan High Court Bar Association, and Balochistan Bar Council.
Balochistan High Court and Balochistan Bar Council. All together you'll take how long?
Altogether about an hour.
1 hour. Take it next.
Lordship, I am Vice Chairman, Pakistan Bar Council.
Pakistan Bar Council.
Lordship, and as per order dated
How long will you take?
half hour.
I'm sorry, my
Handwriting is
sorry,
very
really bad.
बहुत
It
ही
is,
बदलते हैं।
my wrong.
बहुत ही गंदी
May I
handwriting।
read this? The federal government? The federal government has submitted, the federal government has to submit its response to the grave status of interference by the executive as highlighted by all the high courts. This is the most serious and grave undermining of the independence of judiciary, which cannot be trivialized. The federal government controls the intelligence agencies, and it is for the federal government to explain its position before this court. The buck stops with the federal government. The high courts, the position before this court. The buck stops with the federal government. The high courts have indicated that the phenomena has existed till recently.
पैरा 5 में ये बात तो आ चुकी है, ऑर्डर के पैरा 5 में यही है कि फेडरेशन और एजेंसीज देयर अंडर अपना रिस्पांस दे दें.
That's proposals.
Constitution. The Code of Conduct established by the Supreme Judicial Council under Article 2098 of the Constitution serves as the primary guideline for judicial behavior of superior judge. Although encompassing this code should not be seen as conclusive, it sets the basic standards for a judge's conduct, emphasizing that the Constitution declares all authority exercisable by the people as a sacred trust from Almighty Allah, indicating that justice in this nation has a divine origin. This underscores the full implementation of high constitutional principles and the universal requirements of natural justice. A judge's oath signifies complete submission to the Constitution and, by extension, to the law. Within these bounds, his function of interpreting and applying the Constitution and the law is essential for maintaining the rule of law across all human activities within the nation. The letter dated 25th of March 2024, authored by 6 judges of the Islamabad High Court, should serve as an eye-opener. It provides a framework to address any untoward incidents in the future. This Honorable Court should note that Article 204 of the Constitution grants the powers of the contempt of court, further bolstered by the contempt of court ordinance. This ordinance empowers every superior court to address contempts committed in relation to it. The incidents detailed in the letter dated 25th of March trace back to the previous year. It is crucial for a strong message to be sent to the Parliament and the Executive and its institutions that no interference will be tolerated henceforth. An inquiry into these incidents should be conducted to determine what exactly transpired and why the approached judge of the High Court failed to act as provided under Article 204 of the Constitution, read with the Contempt of Court Ordinance 2003. It is particularly alarming that the 6 judges of the Islamabad High Court reported being approached and pressured without specifying the cases for the individuals involved. This situation necessitates consideration of why these judges were unable to issue contempt citations against such individuals. Next para I have already read. Para H. At the last hearing, the Honorable Chief Justice of Pakistan highlighted internal pressures within the judiciary, referencing the historical incidents. Past practices such as the appointment of monitoring judges for trials in subordinate judiciaries and the handling of political cases, including the formation of benches for such cases, demonstrate that approaches from the executive and its institutions were not the only concerns. The judiciary itself was implicated in these practices. A firm message must be sent to other state organs, and the judiciary's role in these internal approaches must be addressed. Incidents should be thoroughly investigated, reported, and conclusively resolved to prevent recurrence in the future and to uphold the integrity of the judiciary for generations to come. A comprehensive framework and code of conduct should also encompass judges of the subordinate judiciary. Given that Article 204 of the Constitution and the Contempt of Court Ordinance 203 apply only to the judges of the Superior Court, it is unjust to differentiate between the judges of the superior and subordinate judiciaries. While the regulation of procedures for the subordinate judiciary falls within the purview of the respective high courts, it is advisable for this Honorable Court, in consultation with all high courts, to devise a protective framework for the subordinate judiciary. This will enable them to operate independently and without impediments set up. They have control over these social medias, and the Supreme Court Bar Association, your Lordship might recall, we held a press conference saying that any kind of trolling of any honorable judge for maintaining any opinion that he has independently cannot be permitted. And our friends here from the press, they came rushing to me and they said that you are obstructing freedom of speech. The Supreme Court Bar Association from day one says that trolling of a judge for an expression that he gave in court proceedings is absolutely intolerable, and the executive branch, which is tasked with the regulation of this social media, must do its work, and we maintain that.
With great respect, speaking for myself, you represent the lawyers of this country.
Lord, I do.
And firstly, we must not fear, at least judges must not fear any criticism, no matter how vicious that is.
Criticism is something else.
Yes, insult is something
Probably
else and criticism is something else.
on this bench, we have the Honorable Chief Justice, who has, under very difficult times, was a victim of that. And from 2018 till today, I can claim that I was also, my integrity was, but did that make any difference?
My Lord, let me explain this.
Judges have to rise above these things. No criticism, no matter how vicious, can affect a judge or the judge's integrity or credibility. It is the people's trust in the judge that matters. Lekin, I have a question for you. What do you think was the most serious contempt in the history of this country? The most serious contempt in the judicial history of this country.
My Lord, I'm sorry.
The 3rd of November order passed by a 7-member
Nobody
bench.
can disagree with that.
Sun to lena zara. The judiciary was restored with people's power, and this court could not dare issue contempt in that matter. That is the phenomena that is before us. आप कह रहे हैं कि ये जो है, ये हाई कोर्ट के जज, सिविल जज जो है, ये कंटेम्प्ट करें. That 7-member bench order was not only violated, the judges were imprisoned, were detained.
I believe the person involved was tried and sentenced to death.
No one was fired, because contempt proceedings in that matter could never be initiated. This court did not have that courage to do it.
Once my Lord finishes the question, I'll try to answer that. Can I answer, my Lord? My Lord, fair criticism on a judgment.
नहीं मैं contempt से
मैं अभी जनाब को जो चूंकि जनाब ने पहले भी एक बात सवाल मुझसे पूछा था उसका जवाब
I've only said that speaking for myself. I faced it. I have never. I have welcomed it. लेकिन मुझे सिर्फ contempt पे आ जाइए.
मैं सर अभी थोड़ा सा.
That was my opinion.
लेकिन ये जो बात आपने की है इसका जवाब मुझे because this is going live to the public. I have to answer that.
देखें उसमें देखें. Let us not go into this debate. दुनिया भर में एक chilling effect होती है. No one in the world, everywhere, criminal offences are being abolished in matters जो कि freedom of expression से relate करता हूँ।
मुझे ये इसी का जवाब
उसमें नहीं we are not here। आप बता देना contempt का आपने लिखा है। जब 3 नवंबर का 7 member bench a restored judiciary backed by the people could not initiate contempt proceedings, how do you expect the High Court or a district court judge to do it?
Can that inaction?
It is not an action, it is a reality.
My lord, reality is the 6 honorable judges sitting here.
आप इस तरह करें, that matter is still pending. Bring a petition of contempt on behalf of.
I will.
But now they all are retired. This is the dilemma.
Let me, if
Musharraf was also
answers
belatedly this court, you see, forced.
Let me respond to this. Let me respond to this. My lord, if for myself the perpetrators of the 3rd of November incident were ultimately tried on this court's directive, and the main person was sentenced to death.
Not all the perpetrators were not tried.
My lord, they were not tried.
सिर्फ एक को किया।
जी हो गया।
जो my lord पूछना चाह रहे हैं वो कह रहे हैं जो बाकी भी थे।
मुझे मेरा सवाल है सर, मेरा सवाल है, उस सजा से हमारी जुडिशरी ने इनकरेज फील क्यों नहीं किया?
अब कहते हैं वो थोड़ी सी भी बहुत है।
देखिए बात ये है, we have to start somewhere. Let's forget what has happened. We are before 6 honorable judges of the highest court of this country.
उस जजमेंट के अगेंस्ट तो पूरी फेडरल गवर्नमेंट आ गई थी प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस।
जी वो बाद में तो वो विड्रॉ